last webinar, in my time, I have discussed the stages of consciousness. So I'm not going into the detail, but definitely I will discuss few things that is important. The summary of that, you can say the summary of last webinar. Like as we know in Mandukya Upanishad, we have four stages, given four stages by our sages that can be utilized in psychology, uh, and that is what we are here to discuss. And in case you have any question in between, you can ask. There is no problem in that. Otherwise, we'll take the questions in the after the presentation. So there were like four stages, like waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and Turiya. So waking is in waking stage, as Dr. Lalit also described, the name of the self is Viswanara. Like, and our like self, whatever you want to call it, sometimes we say spirit or soul or something, but the self is, you can say, your real nature. So in waking state, it is so that you are taking information, your focus is on external world, you are taking information from outside. And the symbol of A, because Om represent these stages, like waking, dreaming, deep, and this is the representation of these stages. Om means your mouth is wide open, and when you are say ooh, then your mouth is like half closed, and then ma, when you are saying ma, then your lips are closed, and after that there is a silence. So whatever is creation is there, that is created by these words. Because simple thing is, like when you, whatever you want to speak or describe, that will require either your mouth is wide open or half closed or fully closed. That is the thing. That is why Om is the representation of entire world, you can say. So Vashwanar is like focus is external word, symbol is A, and in this level we say the reality level. Like in psychology also we talk about the reality checks. So the reality is like empirical. You are interacting with the external environment, and you can test everything empirically. What like science says, like you can taste something, or you can touch something, or you can observe all those things. But in next stage is the dreaming stage, and we call the self in this stage as Tajasa, because this is intern. Tejas, like Tej, you know that word. So if you are English speaking person, but if you're not, then it is an internal word, you can say. Your mind is creating everything. So suppose in dream stage you are dreaming, you are seeing everything, but no external thing is present. Your mind is projecting, you are seeing and responding to that. And we call this stage is represented by U, that and the reality level is mental, that is subtle or सूक्ष्म, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, we call it, that is subtle stage. Because no external communication with any environment, that is that everything is created by your mind and experienced by your mind. And the next is deep sleep, that is pragya, that is undifferentiated, because in this stage when you are in deep sleep there is no dream and anything, and you are not aware about you are dreaming also, and everything, like your what your mind and your projections, everything is in like at causal level. Causal means they are the cause, but they are not like creating anything. You can say this is the stage where everything remains in the form of seed. So when they get proper environment, means when you wake up, everything comes out, like your mind, your identity, and your ego, everything. So that is what deep sleep. And the final stage was like Turiya, that we have discussed. That is the real nature of the person. We call it Brahma, Brahman, or Atman, or super consciousness, whatever you want to say it. Like there are different names in different scriptures, and this is the focus is transcendental. Right? You are moving towards a greater reality, and it is represented by silence. When we say Om, when it finishes, the silence is like this, and it is the absolute is reality level, and it paramarthika you can, and that is one more stage is present. You can say it is a fourth stage, or you can say it is the greater reality, and that is present in waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Because either you are waking or you are sleeping, but in sleeping you are not aware that you are sleeping and you are dreaming. When you wake up, then only you get to know. Similarly, in deep sleep also, you don't you are not aware about those things, but as soon as you wake up, you get to know there is something who is experiencing all these stages, right? So that is the real person. Your identity is that you acquire learning, that is not your real identity. So because all in all these stages, something is experiencing, and whatever it is experiencing, that is Turiya. Because when you are asleep, and you are like seeing a dream, or you are in a deep sleep, so uh, when you wake up to someone you were not aware about at that point of time, but as soon as you awake, you get to know that you got a good sleep. So who had experienced that sleep? Because you are not aware about that time, about sleep or dream. So that is the person who is experiencing the thing, like self is experiencing, actually that is the real self. So that is what we have discussed in the last, you can say, in webinar. That is the summary of that. Now I'm coming to the um, thing, that is psychological relevance of these stages that we are going to discuss. Though few things we have also discussed earlier also, but now will discuss in with detail, and we'll try to finish it on time. Though we have started at 10 minutes late, and I'm not able to see your question if you have posted. So whenever like there will be after that this presentation, we'll take the questions if you have. So this is like now let me make it full screen, because then it will be more visible to everyone, right? So so up now we can understand, we know what are these stages. So Mandukya Upanishad has given these four stages. Uh, then and you can say these are the model of consciousness. So it provides a early and a nuance of to map consciousness. Still, we are working. Scientists are working on these things, and much like Freud, consciousness, pre-consciousness, unconsciousness, he also tried to describe it. But before that, they have given these kind of stages to understand the mind. Because as a psychologist, our main purpose is to understand the mind and to help the people to come out of their sufferings. And so up in these four stages, they bridge the gap between experience, memory, unconscious impressions, and the transcendence. So as we have discussed, like you have memories that creates dream, you are interacting with the environment in waking stage, and there is lot of things that is stored in your mind. And when you understand all these things, you can um, achieve that state where there is no suffering and all. So how this what are these things that we are going to discuss. So jagrat stage की अगर हम बात करें, the waking state or jagrat अवस्था, and self is called as Vishwanara, जैसे like Dr. Lalit already discussed few things about that. So psychological relevance is our engagement with the external world. As we know, the that is Vyavharik stage, and you are interacting with the external environment, just like you read in your Western psychology books, like sensation and perception. So you are taking all the information. That is what sensation and perception, cognition, and everything. So similarly, here we are getting the input from the external environment, and we develop like our ego identity, who we are, what is my name, what is my profession, my parents' name, and my geographical location, all those things. So we get all the sensory information from the external world and create an identity and develop a logical thinking and everything. So that is very much required also, because when you are interacting with the external world, you need these things. So nothing is like it is good or bad, but it is about understanding those things and using that thing as an instrument, and not attaching with our identity. That is what we like discuss in these kind of exercises, but we are not going into the detail of that thing. We are specifically discussing Mandukya Upanishad, so we'll go with that. So parallel the conscious mind in Western psychology, already useful the understanding of how the ego operates and how behavior is shaped by the sensory and external behavior. So when you are taking the information from the external world, right? So you are creating your identity. Like your parents has given you the name, your like, and you are accepted that, and now you are known by that name, but you are not that name. Understand this thing. So your behavior, your personality, everything is developed by your conditioning with different things, your information, your parenting, because they are teaching you what is this, what is right, what is wrong, what is not good, what is not that good, and all those things. So you're getting all the information and creating your ego and identity. That is what that happens in Jagrat avastha or dreaming state, because all that information is coming from outside, and you are getting attached to that information, and you are creating your ego and ego identity. So that is the waking stage. So we can discuss it in a greater length maybe in some other webinar, but right now we are just taking a glimpse of different stages. So and then how we can interpret it, like we can understand it psychologically, and we can utilize it. And then Swapnavastha dreaming stage, and the self is called as Tajasa. We have already discussed. So that is inward turned awareness. Yani your awareness, which was external in the first stage of that is Jagrata Avastha or waking stage, now it is inward, driven by memory, emotions, and impressions. Sanskara, जिनको हम बोलते हैं संस्कार. So that is unconscious, you can say, or preconscious. So that memory is stored. Whatever memory is stored in your mind, that creates the dream. You are not in connection with the external world, but your mind is projecting. You are seeing different um, dreams. It is just like a Freud's dream analysis, but because he utilized the dream, and he analyzed that to understand the human being. So the thing is, you can see only those things that is stored in your mind, maybe in some twisted form, but you cannot see anything that is not stored in your mind. That is the like thing. That is why Freud used these things to interpret and understand your personality, and many of us creative and symbolic nature of the mind, and how unprocessed thought emerges. So means whatever is suppressed, what is not expressed in the waking stage, that can emerge or process in your dreaming stage. So it indicates the mind's creativity and symbolic nature. So mind is capable of creating his own meaning and transforming the information in some other ways. Just like if someone is very anxious, they can see the dream of like catching train, and all those things that most of us are familiar about that. We train shooter and then trying to because they have some certain kind of anxiety or fears in their mind. So useful in the psychotherapy to access the subconscious material. So in this stage, the dreams that we have, so we can utilize this stage to understand the person's subconsciousness. Sometimes we are not aware, just like Freud did. We are not aware, but in these Indian concepts, you can say they are the stage where our identity is created by our mind. And if we understand that and we detach ourselves from that thing, just like when you wake up from a bad dream or fearful dream, and when, as soon as you wake up, your fear will vanish because now you are aware, you are just dreaming, it is not true. Just like in dream waking stage also, if we detach ourselves from certain things like our identities and egos and other things, then we can come out of the suffering. Just like in a dream stage, when we wake up and we like we get to know that it was a dream and our all suffering is gone. But until unless you are in a dream, you are suffering in that dream. So so that is a dreaming stage or swapnavastha, you can say. Then third one is the susupti, and that susupti means deep sleep. And this is mental silence work, where no distinct awareness exists, yet a sense of rest, peace, and bliss is experienced. So when you wake up from a deep sleep, then only you get to know that you slept well, and you enjoyed, and you feel relaxed, you feel restored. So these are that is the state, because in that stage there is no identity, there is nothing, you just slept, there is no worries and everything. But at this, that is a glimpse, you can say, that is a glimpse of blissful state. But the problem is you are not aware about that blissful state until unless you are awake, right? So, and can be linked to the unconscious of non-REM sleep, deep sleep in modern sleep science, because in modern deep like sleep researchers, we know that REM sleep, non-REM sleep, all those things. So I'm not going into that because we already read, and if you want, you can read in any general psychology book. So reflects how healing and restoration occurs in the absence of mental activity. So when there is a no mental activity, there is no identity, you are in a blissful deep sleep, your body heal, and your all worries and your has gone, and you rested well. When you wake up, you feel good because there was no mental activity. It indicates that all the problems, all the anxieties, depression and other suffering is created by something that was not present in deep sleep. That is the indication that your mind is creating many things. So we have to understand the mind. So we'll in some day we will do, we will try to understand those things. So offers insight into a non-dual state and the base state of the being before ego arises. As soon as you wake up, your ego arises, right? Ego means as soon as you wake up from the deep sleep, suppose I am sleeping, so I am nothing. I'm not a doctor, Atul. I'm not a professor. I'm nothing. I don't have anyone in my life. But as soon as I wake up, my ego arises. Because now my mind is working. I have certain identity, certain relationships, certain things around me that like that is existing from my childhood. So my ego is arising and creating my identity. So it say the deep sleep state says it offers insight into non-dual states. Non-dual means there is nothing, not experiencer, not experience, not experience. So, and that becomes a blissful state. And this is a base state that is present. They are saying that there is something that is at like base level, and at that happens in all the stages, and that is what we call Turiya. Turiya is present in every. That is the witness, yani experiencer, witness consciousness, we can say. So pure awareness beyond body and mind duality. When you are in deep sleep, you don't know, but the problem is you are not aware about that state. So if in a wakeful state and you are not in a deep sleep, if you become aware or you can reach that stage, then you you can come out of all the sufferings, because it is a long process and time taking process. But as soon as you will realize it, your suffering may go down. So pure awareness beyond body and mind, and duality and the unchanging witness and all mental states, because Surya is present in all stages, similar to concept of transpersonal psychology, mindfulness, peak experience described the Maslow. दो self realization की जो बात करते हैं, encourage the ideas of core self and higher consciousness untouched by trauma, thought or identity helpful in existential and spiritual counseling. So that can help. And the mental health application, I will tell you one example that I tried with my client. Like there is a like girl like whose childhood was very traumatic. Her parents were fighting and everything was there. Now at the age of 30, she has lot of regrets. Why my childhood was like that? Why my parents were fighting? Why they are not doing this or that? And she was in uh, totally mess, like means having depression, anxiety, and all these things. When I started working with her, explained the concept that whatever you are experiencing, that is because of your mind, that because of your thought, because that whatever has happened. But you are you were like making your identity out of that thing. That you are your life is like not good, and always you are saying to yourself you are suffering because this happened to you, but that happened in the past, and past is just your memory. Understand, when you are sleeping or in a deep sleep, you don't experience any past is in our mind. So I tried these concepts with her, and with I don't know how much it will last, but it is about 4 5 sessions. Now she is feeling better. I'm not saying she is totally fit, but now she is more like 50%. You can say at 50 to 60%. She is improving. She is working and everything, and she's tried to understand. So mental health application क्या हो सकता है? To self inquiry means आत्म विचार, asking ourselves who am I, right? That kind of questions. And awareness of dreams, deep sleep states help in our different, like our to understand our dreams, our trauma, why it is happening, what narrative is going on in our mind. So that is what, if we will understand, we will work with our client, it will help. Turiya is inner stillness, supports mindfulness, meditation, and non-reactivity in therapy. So as Dr. Lalit also explained, meditation helps. Meditation is like you are focusing on one point in any meditation, sorry, and other thoughts you are separating. Meditation, or when you are doing jap, any kind of in any, like in different, all most of the religions we have these kind of practices. So Turiya states can be achieved through is mindfulness. Mindfulness when you are aware, you are in present, you are focusing on one point, means you are you are going away from all the thoughts. So you are like reaching towards that stage of Turiya where no thoughts is there. That happens in day-to-day life sometimes. But suppose you like listening music and you are totally engrossed in that music, or you like painting or whatever work or cooking, when you are totally lost into that, your identity is gone, you feel blissful, you enjoy that moment the most, maybe it with nature, or with in cooking, or watching something, or listening some music. It happens sometime with us and we like it. So encourages detachment and insight into the temporary nature of experiences. So the main focus is all the experiences, either it is positive or negative, trauma or happiness, is temporary. They will come and go. If you will understand this that much concept only, you are not achieving any Turiya stage and all. Then also there is a less anxiety, less suffering for us. So this is how we can use these mental health. This is just a glimpse. We are working on these things from, like, you can say 1 or 2 years. So maybe with some time we'll publish some papers and all, and you will get more details about those things. So holistic understanding of self is, unlike Western psychology, which often focuses on pathology, Mandukya Upanishad offers a vision of wholeness and self-realization. Wholeness means, as Dr. Um, Lalit said, we are one with one. So that is the little bit abstract concept, but it will take time to understand. And as Dr. Lalit also said, like um, this is a metacognition kind of thing, because you have to think about yourself, who you are. So that requires, and that maybe that in, you can say that is a limitation also, because it needs certain level of psychological mindedness to understand these concepts. It invites practitioner to explore consciousness as a multi-layer, promoting integration rather than separation of the state. So we are not suppressing anything. We are talking about integration. So that is the beauty of holistic understanding of the self. And if we talk about the Mandukya Upanishad, bridging psychology and spirituality, there is a concept we relate to religion and spirituality. It is not actually religion; it is spirituality. It is not related to any religion. If you, but somehow when we talk about Ved and Upanishad, so mostly we consider it as a Hindu text. It is, but it is not religious text. I'm not like, I think it is a more spiritual kind of thing to understand oneself. So act as a bridge between clinical practice and spiritual growth. So it is a whole spectrum from suffering to growth. It is not, and usually in mental health field, which we talk about Western psychology, is they talk about normality to abnormality, abnormality to normality, not growth. But now they are also, as like we know, they are also more focusing on these things. They are, and they are promoting these kind of ideas. Supports the idea of healing through awareness, self-realization, and deep rest. This is, and transcendence. Transcendence stage, that is Turiya. So that is the whole concept of like Mandukya Upanishad in different stages, and how we can understand human psychology, human mind to help others. So the Mandukya Upanishad is not a just spiritual text; it is a profound psychological manual, you can say. It encourages self-awareness, emotional integration, and the realization of a deeper, non-fragmented self. It is not like in Western, we more talk about individual self. For psychologists, therapists, and students, it offers a framework to understand states of mind, level of identity, and ways to attain inner peace and mental activity. So we talk about how we can attain that thing. That is the, uh, you can say, that is the brief about all these things. And I think I have justified my time. And if you have any question, you can ask right now. Me and Dr. Lalit is there. We'll try to respond it. And if you like to, uh, uh, like some other webinar, specific webinar related to this philosophy, we can think of that also, and you can tell, you can just tell us. So now you if you have any question, you can speak, like just switching on you after switching on your mic. So right now we have 6 people with us. So any of you, if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise,
देखिए
we,
जी 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 जी
otherwise because
मैं
it is 9:08. We'll try. We'll just sign off.
मुझे लगता है सवाल अगर भले ही ना पूछें, अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अगर शेयर करें कि आप क्या सोचते हैं, ये
Whatever,
जो हमने अभी बात
whatever,
करी
whatever
इसके
it
बारे
is,
में
sir.
आप विचार करें।
Whatever it
जी
is, sir, they can ask questions, they can comment, they can share their understanding, or what it is, it useful for them if they want certain kind of changes. So we can take that those things also in future.